All right, let's see if we can do a land speed record on making sure that the sound works. Come on, catch up with YouTube. Just looking at my logo right now. I can hear that though, so I think we're good. There we are. We are good. We got sound. All right. Wait a couple more seconds here for the top of the hour. Change to live chat so I can keep up with the chat if need be. Alrighty, it is 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That means, and it's Sunday, which means it's time for answering your financial questions with Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you would like more financial content from me, you can just go to youtube.com/Coach Steve Money and scroll down, not stroll. You can stroll or scroll, either way. I have varied interests and they're all on the same page. They have different playlists. You go down to answering your financial questions. That's this stream. And today is number 117 of those. So plenty of those, plenty of different questions answered in there. And of course, the Ramsey Show after show, which I'm doing at least through the end of September, Tuesdays and Thursdays after the Ramsey Show video ends on YouTube, which it ends earlier now. It ends at 5:25 Eastern Time, and the last hour of the show is only on the Ramsey Network app. So at 5:25, approximately 5:25 Eastern Time is when I do that stream. And the music playlist, including the most recent song, How to Do the Baby Steps Right. And that addresses all the things that people do wrong when they're following the baby steps, because it doesn't specifically say in the list to, for example, save $1,000. It doesn't specifically say don't use that $1,000 to pay off debt. Some people think you use it to pay off debt. In the next step, you don't touch that $1,000 unless there's an emergency. So things like that are in that song. But there's 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in that music playlist, and so please check those out and any of my other content if you are so inclined. Alrighty, what up, Aslan? Thank you so much for being an avid supporter. Much appreciated. Oh, and of course, gosh, it's always like it's my first day. I forgot to scroll down to where we left off, which was, I think, 4 days ago. Nope, not deviating. People love to deviate from the steps. Let's see. Should I pay off the car? I think I already know the answer to this one. Yeah, you pay off the car. Did I do that one? Nope. Saver and spender. Yeah, so we got a lot of questions. Okay, great. A lot of questions to go through. Why not transfer the credit card? Because just moving it around keeps you in that cycle of debt because you're not paying it off. Just pay it off as quickly as possible. Just started. I think I did that one. Debt free. How purchase is next. And on that one, I think they wanted to do a bunch of other things too. And so you should only focus on one money thing at a time instead of both, because then it takes longer to do both of them. What up, Sid? Thank you for Sid with me since the beginning. Lucky her, right? Path forward in this situation, we did that. They paid off the house. We did that one yesterday too. Okay, so here's where we go. TMPS 1993. The phone screeners really need to start weeding out the credit card callers. If they're not, then they want them on the show to continually point out how bad of an idea it is. And so, like I tell people in the Ramsey Show chat all the time, this is the show. What you're getting is the show. You wanting something else, if you would rather see something else, that's great. That's not what they're gonna do. And so, I mean, you can put your opinion in the chat all you want to. But it's not going to change. Dave's been doing it. Dave's the one in charge, and he's right there on the screen. You don't think if he wanted it a different way, it would be a different way? No. So it's not going to change anything. But let's see what they want. Listen to yet another episode where a caller tried to argue on credit card usage with Dave. Right. And that's basically they want Dave to have a chance to point out why they're so bad. And that probably needs to happen once an episode. Because people still think like that. Why do they continue to let these calls go through? It's a topic that's been discussed to death. At this point, Dave might as well just play a pre-recorded message for those callers because it's the same exact conversation every time. Sure, but apparently they want it like that. Otherwise, it would change. So there you go. You're welcome to put your chat opinion here. That's what subreddits are for you to give your little opinion on it. YouTube is for me to give my little opinion on your question. So there you go. What up, Shelby Nye? How's it going in Australia, mate? Good day. Blue. Help. I need somebody help. I'm a student, little pitchy dog. I'm a student who just graduated from college in Ontario with $20,000 worth of debt and student loans $6,200 borrowed from close friends and relatives. Oh no. Close friends and relatives, the double whammy. Oh goodness. 25 in debt and a maxed out credit card and $30 in my bank account. So this is where you're hitting rock bottom, apparently, I guess. You got $30 and need to buy stuff. And that's when you say, oh, the way I'm doing it is not working. And so there you go. Don't have a job yet. No money for rent or food. And my health is at an all-time low. Well, theoretically, you would act before you only had $30 left in your account with no money for rent or food. Let's say I want to get out of this and never want to be in this situation again. Any advice appreciated? The advice is the baby steps, of course, but unfortunately, there's a thing called an income that is required to make the baby steps happen. You do have to work. You cannot make your situation any better without having a job. Now, if you can't afford rent and they kick you out, you can go to a homeless shelter, things like that. Maybe, local churches, local government may have programs to help you out in a dire situation like that. But to get ahead financially, you do have to have a job, and there's no solution if you don't have a job for that. And so, unfortunately, you got to get a job. So it doesn't say disabled, doesn't say anything like that. So I'm putting it on you until I have more information. I'm putting it on you. Why don't you have a job yet? And how did you take out this much debt and allow your bank account to get down to $30 with no job? And so I'm going to hold you accountable for that. So, like I said, there could be other issues involved. But with the information there, I'm going to assume just put your head in the sand and just stay home and play video games or something like that. Watch TV, binge some shows and something instead of getting a job at Taco Bell or anywhere. If you have $30 in your bank account and that's all and no job, then there's no job that's beneath you. Let's see. Oh, that's right. It's Monday for Shelby in Australia. Tired from last week. Yep. Would you be allowed to get a massage? Oh, you mean on baby step 2? A massage? I mean, if that's gonna put you in better shape to do your very physically demanding job, you could put that in your budget. I would try to go without it probably as much as possible, but yeah, um, if it's gonna put you in better shape to do your job, you can put it in the budget. Absolutely. Variable interest rate mortgage, and that's not what we recommend. If you are familiar with Dave's mortgage advice, that would be a 15-year fixed mortgage. And so you don't do the variable, although at this point, it would, if you got it now, it probably would go down, at least in the beginning, but still you get the fixed rate interest rate. And then if it goes down a lot and it's worth it, then you can refinance. Let's say I'm on a variable interest rate mortgage indexed on the central bank rate, which it's standard here in Sweden. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Currently at 4.3%. My apartment is worth, they buy apartments a lot in non-American, I guess probably in America, some places probably do it, let you just buy an apartment instead of a house, but a lot of times in other countries, people buying apartments is worth about 700K, and I still owe 350K. Okay. Sell the house maybe, depending on your situation. Baby step 6. Okay, maybe you don't need to. Income is about 90K take home, excluding retirement, health care, insurance, and kid schooling, which is taken care at tax level. Okay. Owing 350 at variable interest rate freaks me out. Fixed rates are much more expensive, 2 to 3 points more. Okay. And limit how much I can pay back extra on the mortgage. Should I get a cheaper apartment? You can get Gazelle Intense for 10 years, or am I fine and can reimburse more slowly while enjoying life and invest in funds instead? Well, you shouldn't be investing more than 15% until that mortgage is paid off. So 15%. See the baby step 4. It says invest 15% of your household income into retirement. You do 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. You said 5 is already taken care of through taxes in the Sweden, and let's pay off that apartment early. Would be step 6. So you're doing 4 and 6 at the same time. So you only do 15% and you pay that off early still as soon as possible. You can do some fun stuff, you can budget vacations and stuff like that, but you shouldn't be like blowing all your money instead of paying off that apartment early. You should still plan on paying that apartment early and not do the what was I upset about here? I did not like the or am I fine and I can reimburse more slowly while enjoying life. And so I mean that it could have, this could sound better in Swedish than it does translated into English, this particular English version of it. And so I'll give the person a break maybe on that. And he was just trying to say, should I go get Gazelle Intense for 10 years? I would want to pay it back sooner than that. Let's see, that's 35 and you make 90. You ought to be able to put let's see, 350 says 35,000 a year. I would try to go for 8 years, see what it would be for 8 years, and do that. And then generally when people do that and they do a budget and a plan like that, generally they find themselves getting done with that plan, getting out of debt, completing the house payoff faster than they originally project. But I would push yourself a little bit more, and see the 10 years as well that you're thinking it's going to take. You make it take less than that, and then you'll have more time to spend more money and enjoy life, as you call it. And so it's fine to do that. Anywhere on step 4, you can have vacations and stuff like that. But the idea is you still have to do 4, 5, and 6 if all of them apply to you. And this person has 4 and 6 applying. What beat? Do I have? Yeah, I have Discord open. Who is that? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Pierre 19, Lita, need advice, spousal, joint account creation. My husband and I want to join forces. Currently, our finances are separate and we split everything 50-50. Okay, I have a money market savings account, Capital One, and a checking account with PNC. He has a checking savings account. What is the best way to go here? Should we have both of our paychecks put into the same account? If you're separating your finances, generally it would all be separate. So that is not what spouses should do. If you're talking about one account to like pay bills out of, I mean, it's whatever you guys can compromise, agree on, etc. Communicate and compromise. If you can't do those, then you need counseling. But whatever you guys agree on supersedes the baby steps. So you are the ones that are trying to live together, assumedly, and stay married. And so you guys have to set the path going forward on this. But let's see. But obviously, Ramsey advises you put the money all together. That way there's no financial infidelity, no secrets, that kind of thing. So should you have it? I mean, you can do that. It's whatever you guys agree on. Percentage of our paycheck, whatever you guys agree on. And should this joint account be a checking account or something like a money market? No, it would probably be the account that the bills come out of. And that way, in your own separate accounts, then you only have money left over, meaning like debt snowball money, so that you could put it towards whatever baby step that you individually would be on. If there's any debt, if you're higher up, hopefully you are, you could put that more like towards the house. But again, that would be something you would probably put an equal amount into the bill paying, and that would be included. Extra on the house would be included on that. And so, and as always, what would Dave do flare right here? That is not put on by the subreddit. The person that puts the question in puts that in. And so what would Dave do? Dave would combine finances, and that way you have all of the money in one place, and that way you make the budget and you spend all of the amount needed to pay off all the bills, to get all of the budget taken care of, and then anything left over that goes extra to whatever baby step you are on, whether it be step 1 or step 6. So at any point in the baby steps, it could go to any one of those numbers. Alrighty. A massage. I'm trying to think if I ever had one. No, not by a professional. I've never had one by a professional. So I bet they are pretty awesome though. Dream Shell. I paid off my car 18 months early. Looking back, a 75-month lease term seems criminal indeed. But guess who put those handcuffs on you? Yourself. You did that. Now we get to tackle $60K in student loans, but paid it off early. 75-month lease term. I mean, they have 9 years. I know. I've heard 84-month. I wonder if there are. Wonder if they're 10-year car loans already, leases and loans. That is crazy. But you did pay it off early, so getting a hold of it and now the 60K in student loans and doing it correctly, as far as I can tell. Good job. Tasty Bear 7479. Should we sell our house to pay off high interest credit card debt? Maybe. Now this is where it goes back to the 15-year fixed. If you have a 30-year loan, 30-year mortgage, then it's possible that the reason that was done is because you couldn't afford the payments on a 15-year, which means to Mr. Ramsey that you can't afford that particular house. Let's see, we have about 75K in high interest, 28% credit card debt. Pretty dumb. Should we downsize our home and use the equity for a new down payment and to completely eliminate the debt? It will likely take us 2 to 3 years to pay off the debt otherwise, and the interest is insane indeed. We're aware of needed changes to avoid getting into this type of debt again, or just looking for payoff advice. Thank you. Okay, so that is going to be up to you. That's going to be whether you can afford that particular house or if you actually do need to downsize. So if it's on a 30, see what it is on a 15, and if you cannot afford that 15-year fixed payment, then you cannot afford the house. And so basically it's approximately the mortgage balance can be about 2.5%. It's a handy little formula my pal Sid came up with. 2.5 times your annual salary, annual household income. That is the max mortgage that you can have. So you can buy a bigger house than that. You just have to save up a larger down payment to get the maximum mortgage amount down to 2.5, no more than 2.5 times your take home. No, your gross salary, I think. Is it on gross or take home pay there, Sid? If she's still here. But that's up to you. I understand the wanting to make it happen faster, and downsizing sounds like it might be the right idea. The problem is when you get any quick fixes and it doesn't take that much discipline to do, like you're not taking, like if you do this for 2 or 3 years and it takes 2 or 3 years of your life to pay off the debt and you can't have any fun and such, while you're being gazelle intense to pay off that debt, then that makes it more likely you won't go back into debt and repeat the process. So by taking care of it immediately, you have to make sure that you've already learned your lesson and you will not run debt back up after you take care of it. And that's the same reason you don't do the consolidation loan or transfer it over to a zero interest credit card, because then you're just moving it, you're not learning any lessons, and you're more likely to run it back up and get back in debt. JFM boy, family time balance. Yeah, I mean that's important, but you gotta take care of financial stuff too. So let's see what's going on here. 47 married, baby step 2. I could easily hunker down and eat PB&J and work nonstop overtime and knock this step out. Do it. But been there as a young adult, okay? But now I'm married with 15-year-old son, right? Which is why you try to get your financial stuff in order before this point. That way you would not have to do this in order to get your financial stuff in order. It would already be in order, and then you would have more time to spend with family. So you do have to admit that you did it wrong, and now you do need to take care of it. As a mom, I feel my time with him slipping away. Sure. As he is closer to the end of high school. How do you balance family life and creating memories, spending money on doing things together, vacation with a tagging debt? How do you decide how much to allow in the budget for things while your kids are still at home for you? So that's 2 different things. That's not working overtime versus adding stuff in the budget to do for fun. So that's two different things there. And so you get to decide the balance on that. And so you just got to make sure you're being intellectually honest, is what I like to call that, with yourself, and not thinking like, for example, if you have a brand new baby, and like one child, if you have one child and you think that child requires you buying a brand new SUV instead of just using the same compact car you already have, I mean, that's delusion. That's delusion is what that is. And that means you just want to buy something and you're using the kid as an excuse. So you got to not use the kid as an excuse. So married with a 15-year-old son. So when I was 15, you know how much time I spent at home as opposed to at school and extracurriculars, marching band practice, etc., and just goofing off with my friends. I was not at home any. So if your child's not at home much, if you're 15, so you should not turn down overtime if your 15-year-old son is not there, because in that case you cannot use him as an excuse to be lazy. Now, I'm not there, I'm not tracking hours and stuff, I don't know exactly what's going on there. But I do feel, sometimes I call people dumb and stuff with no problem. But then I have to think about, am I being fair to the situation, because I don't know it, and I can only do with what they tell me though. So I don't know, and the problem that it went from the subject of family time balance to how do you decide how much to allow in the budget. So now we're trying to do fun things too. And so there's not unlimited money. So if you work more overtime, then you can allow a little bit more fun stuff in the budget, because you're working the overtime. But you don't want to work overtime and you also want to allow fun stuff with the budget. That's too much. That's too much. So that's, you got to be honest with yourself, but you're the one that lives it. You get to decide it. But if you don't do overtime, then you can spend 3 years or whatever. But then when the kid is in college or moves out or whatever, then you'll have to go work overtime probably. It sounds like, in order to get your financial stuff straight. It doesn't say, baby step 2. So definitely debt. So don't know how much. Didn't give all the particulars on that. From boom. Trey, thank you for dropping by. Trey says, Mama call him Trey, Daddy call him Trey. I call him Trey. Says she's already getting empty nest syndrome. Yeah. And I get it. I certainly get missing your kids. Can't wait to get back to Ohio to be nearer to them. Tight Kucher 344. Should I pay off my mortgage early? Yes, always. When you get to step 6, yes. And are credit cards really that bad for my situation? Yes, they're bad for any situation because they're debt. My partner and I have no debt apart from the mortgage, which has just under $640K left of the original $677K. All right, so you paid, you got $37K in equity. Congratulations. A little bit less than 3%. Fixed rate. Mortgage payment plus PMI, home insurance. So they didn't put down 20%. Home insurance, HOA dues, and property taxes come out to $4,500 a month, which represents 27% of our gross annual income. I mean, that's not crazy. That is not crazy. And in fact, the original Total Money Makeover, I don't know if they changed it since then, but the original says 25 to 35% of income is the thing to keep it under. So 27 is not crazy. We're both maxing out 401k while also investing in IRAs and health savings accounts, right? Okay, you should only be doing 15% until the mortgage is paid off. About 3K a month in index funds only. Should be doing managed funds for retirement. They make more than index funds. Just got to put in the effort to find them. If you have somebody doing them, they certainly should be able to do better than the index, because a moron can buy an index fund by himself. We have an emergency fund of 5 months of expenses, essential expenses. It's only about 36K. That's fine. We put away $400 a month just for unexpected. You don't save extra other than the mortgage the emergency fund. You don't save extra other than the emergency fund. You would put that $400 a month into the house. Keep to our budget and do not spend money we do not have allocated to each category. What would Dave do? Dave would not use a freaking credit card in your situation. That's dumb. Well, but what about my rewards and points back and stuff like that? That's a no. You put, again, the person picks this to put here. What would Dave do? Dave would say no on all your bullcrap, and you do the baby steps the way they're written, and that means you do not save $400 away for unexpected expenses into an incidental fund. You pay off your freaking house and you don't have incidentals. If there's an emergency, that's when you go into the emergency fund. Otherwise, you don't have incidentals. If you have an upcoming known expense, you can save for that particular thing, but not a slush fund, because that lets you be more lenient with wasting money instead of paying off the house early. The idea is to pay off the house early, and then you don't have to worry about that. Shelby has to run off to work. Enjoy your Monday, Shelby, over in Australia. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Okay, about the empty nest. Shell says, agree with Trey, but at the same time, being able to help pay for his college faster helps as well. Indeed. If the kid is 15, it all sounds like she's 20 years behind proper planning and execution. Right, and that's nobody's fault except her own, indeed. And so that's too bad, but that's reality. And I don't know if you guys met, I say, have you guys met Dave? He's the no debt guy. And if you know anything about me, I'm the embrace reality person. And so you got to embrace the reality of that and deal with it. Putting your head in the sand does not fix anything. A trade can be a little too by the numbers. I don't see a problem with that. The numbers are facts, and you can't argue with facts. I feel like most people tend to wait until it's a crisis before they look at a problem, Aslan says, and that much is certain. That much is certain as well. Yep. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. Dave Ramsey equals permanent no on credit cards. Right. There's not going to be a situation where he says, yes, get one. Like, you're not going to take one out to even get out of an upside down car. You would get a smaller loan than the larger loan from your credit union or bank instead. How do people not understand that kind of thing? Yeah, I don't know how they find the Dave Ramsey subreddit and are on the Dave Ramsey subreddit without having any idea who Dave Ramsey is. So that I don't get. I would think that it would be easier to make your way into the chat, the Ramsey Show chat, without knowing anything about Dave. Because if you search for anything like about money or paying off debt, YouTube might recommend it to you. So I would give somebody in the chat more grace than somebody in the Dave Ramsey subreddit, because you almost certainly had to search exactly for that. Saver into a spender, single 50 man. apartment dweller. I remember those days. And perfectly happy there. The 50 being 50. Not the apartment. I'm still apartment dweller. And perfectly happy there. Me too. 2-bedroom with empty field next door for garden and orchard. Baby step 7. Never made more than, and not having a mortgage, that certainly can get you into baby step 7 faster. And if you got money to live on, you're in baby step 7, you're fine. You're double median retirement savings for my age. Ultra frugal, bordering on cheap, right? And that's how you maintain, and you maintain that into retirement, and then you don't need that much to live on. How can I make the change from saver to spender? Oh, okay. Well, you got to figure out. You make sure you don't spend too much. Is the thing, but yeah, it's hard for some folks to do that because they get so ingrained on this frugal, cheap lifestyle because you're putting money into things that can help you down the road, like paying off your debt, which doesn't get you anything in the moment, except knowing that you have no debt. That doesn't get you anything, like put anything in front of your face that you hold in your hand. Same thing with retirement. You're putting it into retirement and it's growing in the market, et cetera, but you don't have anything in your hand until you cash it out. So it is difficult to reconcile that. Always allocate money for what I call miscellaneous spending, but could never actually use it all. Okay. I would, if you allocate an amount for that and you think that's a good idea to spend that much, I would find something to spend it on. I mean, make sure it's something that you actually want and you're not just spending it to spend it, but try harder to spend it. I continue to save it and roll it over. I mean, there's no problem with that either. You can just say, well, I over budgeted for my fun and I've had plenty of fun. You can decide that and be happy with that. But if you think that you are missing out on something, then that's where you have to try harder. And if it's a head issue, you might even need counseling. You can speak to somebody about it. I mean, you can try your pastor at a church, maybe. You can try that, because that would probably be free before you would go into for a counseling session or something like that. Even try BetterHelp, just to get somebody that has some kind of experience with that kind of mental issue. Let's see. Spending money is painful, makes me uncomfortable. Saving money or getting something on a deal makes me happy. Great. Anybody in my shoes that has successfully made the change? And if so, how did you do it? Yeah, I don't have that problem. I don't have the problem. As soon as I got out of debt and got the full emergency fund, I budgeted fun stuff. Absolutely. And so I did not have that problem. But I would suggest maybe finding deals makes you happy. I mean, maybe look a little bit more for deals than you do now. Check a website called Slick Deals, and that might convince you to spend a little bit more money. But unless you actually want to do it, if you don't want to do it, then you don't need to make yourself, but you should certainly not keep yourself from it just for the fact of it bothering you. You should be able to spend a little bit of money. And so that is a balance again. And so if it's that much of an issue, I would send you to counseling on that. As I said, some of our friends thought that about me when I move off on my own. About moving back to the country. I missed that up top. Okay, let's see. I think the issue is almost people thinking they're a special case when it comes to credit cards, right? Everybody thinks they're the exception. There are no exceptions. That's the beauty of the Ramsey advice. There are no exceptions. And so everybody wants a specific plan for them because they're more disciplined, etc., etc. They're more responsible, etc., etc. Or they want a special thing because they're older or because they're on disability, so they want like special episodes on them and stuff like that. It doesn't work like that. The advice works for everybody. You have to change your situation to fit the advice, not the advice change to fit you. Let's see. They also only look at credit cards from math only perspective, right? Right. 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 And they probably don't realize that probably a lot of people that said, well, I'll pay off the credit card every month, that way I won't get interest, and then they eventually don't. Probably tons of them did. Yep, they don't realize it's easier to spend more when you have a credit card, right? And some people not, obviously, there are exceptions on that, but the studies are clear. There's been so many of them. You do spend more on plastic, even debit cards, you spend more than you do cash. Cash is more of a pain point. These studies have found. Tonight on the Ingram Angle, I don't know, I think that's is that Laura Ingram, maybe Fox host or something like that, conservative, I think. How did Dave do tonight? He argued against price controls and voiced his opinion that a free market will find its own balance, right, without government interference. That works for everybody, that much is certain. I know many would argue the price controls are needed due to runaway inflation. How's that working now? How's that working now? The Fed doesn't lower it, so I mean, there's no control. No, none of us can do anything about it. And the price controls, that didn't happen. None of that happened. So let's see. Dave says the supply issue. That was certainly the place in the case in the Pandy, because supply was an issue and prices did go up because of that. When you increase the supplies, the price goes down. Yeah, I'm down with that. I agree with that. And you should not try to look to the government to be a level the playing field person, because not everybody puts forth the effort to be on the same level. Your participation trophy people are not on the same level as the first place people. Joe Mo 15, should I pay off car? Yes. Baby step 2. So, and that says pay off all debt. So I'm assuming the car is debt. I think I already know the answer to this, but just want to hear it from some people. All right. 11K left on car loan, 9%. 403 a month, been paying 700 a month to try to pay it off quicker than the term. Great. Why wouldn't you? Oh, currently I have 36K and yeah, I think I did this one and it changed order in the list. Sometimes it does that. So I think it did that. 24 years old, by the way, just a baby. Yes, you should pay that off immediately. Even though it's making, actually see, this is the kind that's stupid. This is the one where you don't even have to ask. This one's not making more in savings than he's paying on the car. So that's freaking dumb, Jomo. You're doing it wrong. Do math. Do math first and come to me with a math argument, and then I'll explain why that's not head knowledge, right? Instead of not doing the math argument at all. You have no argument for that one. Picks it weaker. Mortgage versus brokerage. And we're currently debt-free except for the mortgage. 15% is the rule. There's no need to talk about it. You do 15% of your household income in retirement until you pay off that house early, and after you pay off that house early, then you're step 7, and then you can invest 100% of your money if you want to. I don't care. That's up to you. But until the house is paid off, you do only 15%. Any more than that, and that is debt. Leverage. And Mr. Ramsey's not down with that. I don't know if you met Dave. He's the no debt guy. Okay, J. Will, 218. paid down first student loan and second year of college. Great. Hi everyone. Hi guys. 19. Super excited to say that today I paid for both my colleges' second year tuition. Bill, great. You have 2 colleges? And my first year's both my college's second year and paid for my, gotcha, that means that's 2 things. Unsubsidized federal loan in full, great. 8,500 for the semester and 7,500 next semester, great. The loan being 2,100. I still have 22K worth of other student loans to pay down, which I'm currently paying minimum payments while I save up for my 3rd and 4th year. Right. So and he is doing it correctly. A lot of people do get confused about that. The idea is to fund your current school first instead of paying off one loan just to take out another. So you just keep the loan you have and cash flow school while doing minimums, or if you can put a little bit extra to them, that'd be great. As I will likely be able to cash flow the rest, and that will be fabulous. Still have a long way to go, but really excited about where I'm headed compared to 6 months ago. Headed straight for that almost debt-free civil engineering degree. Excellent. Baby step 2, flare. Trey doesn't get along too well with most participation trophy people. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I don't get it. It's okay for kids to feel a little bit bad if they don't get the reward for not putting in any effort. It's a good idea that they feel bad about that. That is fine. The little prince and princess, they will live. The rest of us live, us boomers, as you young people call us all. Gen X, though, thank you very much. But we didn't get that kind of treatment there. If you weren't good enough, you weren't good enough, and that's the way it was. You need to put in more effort. And sometimes, if it's like a physical thing, like a sport or something like that, even with extra effort, the more physically talented person will beat you every time, and that is what we call life. And again, even children need to embrace the reality of the situation, because that does not help them when they move out on their own and they don't make as much money as somebody else does, and they both want to get the same apartment, and then the person doesn't make enough money and says, well, I should be able to get it anyway because I was able to get this trophy in school in my situation. So in my situation, I should be able to get the apartment I can't afford anyway. And so that doesn't help them prepare for the future. That doesn't prepare them for life. And so that is a bad idea. Right. Trey says losing 4% a year rather than paying off that way. Right. I mean, I would have a little bit of respect for you if you did the math first and it worked out in your favor, and then ask, why do it the Ramsey way instead? You're not even, benefiting from doing it your dumb way. At least benefit from doing it your dumb way. Alrighty, paying off debt from Chip Taters. Okay, guys, I really need some help. So my father passed away, leaving us with around $170,000. The deal is, if we pay off our mortgage, we owe $50K on it and have a 10-to-1 arm. Refinance it into a fixed and have a 10-to-1 adjustable rate mortgage. Is what the arm is. So in 5 years, we need to refinance it or sell it. Right. So you would do one or the other. Student loans around 20,000. So they leave you in 175K, including the house. Oh, no. Okay, so 175K cash, I'm assuming, and then you already had the mortgage, so the mortgage, you owe 50K on it. So you paid off today. So 20,000 and 10,000 personal debt. So 30,000 and the 50. And you still have 95K left. Yep. No. Okay. We can be debt free. Did the math for me. Sorry. With still around 95K left. Great. Two incomes around 4,200 net. Our monthly bill before gas and groceries would be 900 a month. Should we pay off our debt? Yes. Yes. So you didn't put what baby step you're on, but guess what baby step you're on? You're on baby step 2. And so it doesn't matter if you just got an inheritance. Nothing in your life that happens matters as far as what baby step you're on. That doesn't change that. If you have student loans, guess what? You were on baby step 2. And so that's where you start, assuming you already have $1,000. So start with step 1, make sure you keep $1,000. And so you would have that with that 175,000 for sure. So you got that. And then step 2 is pay off all your debt. So, the first day, maybe an alien just got to in range of Earth and logged into the Reddit and typed in finances, and Dave Ramsey came up. Never heard of Dave Ramsey and doesn't know about the baby steps. And so, but somehow still has student loans. I don't know how an alien would do that. You would hope if they can travel from their galaxy to our galaxy, you would hope they would not be doing dumb debt stuff. But you never know. Let's see. Or keep paying on the house and invest elsewhere. I feel like it's a waste paying on a house, but still 95,000 isn't a lot. I want to open college funds for the kids, starting with 10,000 each, bringing us to 6,500. 26 years old with wife and 3 kids. No, you're 175,000. You're paying off the freaking consumer debt. You're paying off the mortgage, and then with what's left, you can start the college fund for the kids. That's fine. Don't be stupid. Gonna keep around these loans like they're a pet, like Dave loves to say. Stole that from him. And try to play footsie with interest and try to out-invest your stupidity here. Don't do that. Get debt free. Baby steps in order. Always. Always. Just like the force, the steps will be with you. Always. Aslan working. Thank her for dropping by. Absolutely. Trey says everyone should be allergic to adjustable rate anything. That much is certain. Let's see. Debt Snowball questions. Hello, friends. I have a question regarding which of my debt should I pay off next in baby step 2. That would be the smallest, sir. The smallest amount. 106 income, 596K. None of that applies. Debts, 132K private loan. That's not going to be the one. 40K federal. That's not going to be the one. Smallest being 12 accounts. Oh, okay. I mean, you could break those federal ones. 12 accounts. Jeez. You could break those 12 accounts up individually, and that smallest one, $1,000, to pay that off next then, I guess. Or the car loan. The car. So the 17K car loan is paid off already then? Or 0% interest credit card. 5K off. So if you owe anything on that car, I would probably pay that off first. But you can do that. Liabilities monthly. That still sounds like debt. Private federal forbearance from Save Whole. Yeah. 453 car. Oh, so you haven't paid off the car. So yeah, you pay off that car. So I don't know what the little 70K car loan. Oh, I say 0 in credit cards, and they paid 5K of that credit card off. Okay, great. Close that credit card. The next thing to do probably be to sell off that car, unless you want to break down your 12 student loan accounts into smallest ones and completely get rid of that 1123 amount first. So that's up to you, but it's smallest to largest. Plan was to pay off the car first, but with the save plan being put on hold, I am now more worried about that. Literally, my plan was to pay off the car first, but I already read that part. I'm more worried about that. Expense. Did he copy and paste the same thing twice? No, he just wrote the same thing twice. Okay, but with the save plan being put on hold, I'm now worried about that expense being larger than anticipated on IDR. Graduated school, second. Okay, none of it matters. Baby step 2, smallest to largest. None of this matters. Everything you're doing is overthinking it, and I know. Takes one to know one. What up, Lady Damiana? 4,200 net is monthly. Yeah, too much stuff going on there. It doesn't change the nothing would change the answer. It's smallest amount to largest amount, and so he could do the smallest private student loan separately, since that's only $1,100. But it doesn't change all the numbers and percentages and all that. Don't change anything about the advice. Mr. Henley, help convincing my wife. Well, if you can't do it, I don't think we're going to be able to do it, Mr. Henley. My wife and I agreed. Everybody agrees. That we are tired of living in debt and we are going to start attacking it. So what is she not on board with? Let's see. We're currently on baby step 2, but our views on tackling our debt are very different. Okay, we have about 22K in credit card debt, 1 car loan, and a mortgage. Focus on getting rid of credit card debt first, but I'm not getting much contribution from my wife. So you can't say our focus is on that. So that's dumb. Your wife's focus is not on that if you're not getting much contribution from her on that. So that means your focus is on it and she's not convinced. So, which is why what you need help with. So don't say our focus. That's mischaracterization. Going through puberty. Mischaracterization of the situation. Not getting much contribution from my wife. I had a watch collection valued around 5K and I sold everything to help us get the ball rolling. Just an example of my commitment, and she won't do anything. Let's see. I asked my wife for a $250 monthly commitment several months back. So we don't have combined finances either, apparently. To help with debt, she agreed, yet I never received anything. Okay, well, you got to talk to her about that. See, when anybody in my life, you know, especially a wife, would say, okay, I will give you $250 a month out of my income to help with our debt, and they don't do that several months back. The time when you ask for that is the first month it doesn't show up. So a lot of this is on you, sir. So again, I mean, this is participation stuff all over again. You just can't sit in the corner and frown and say, things aren't going my way. No, you have to engage her, communicate, compromise, and if she doesn't stick to the compromise, that's time for counseling, because you got bigger issues than money, my friend. Something came up. Yeah, it's always going to come up. Well, first, you don't wait, again, the 3 months to talk about it. That's dumb, and that's on you, sir. But yeah, something's always going to come up for a spender. That is always going to happen. Now, I've asked for $100 a month monthly. It's been a struggle to receive that too. Oh, to change it to 100. Yeah, so you have to, you know, I know she wants to get out of debt. Yeah, she doesn't want to give up anything on the way to there, though. Let's see what the rest of it is. Might be something juicy. I know she wants to get rid of debt. Yeah, she just wants it to go away, but not have to sacrifice anything. but clearly on different stages here. Does anyone else have experience on this? What did you do to help your partner see the light? Any help is appreciated. Fortunately, my ex-wife completely agreed with me, and we were able to get out of debt before we got divorced. We were also able to sell the house, even breaking even, just about breaking even, not quite. And so we didn't have any debt left over, and so that did make the divorce process a lot easier. So that was very fortunate. So I don't, unfortunately, but obviously as a financial coach, I hear about this all the time, and you have to, when you have a marriage, again, you have to let go of the baby steps. Now, these baby steps, this is absolutely the best thing for everybody to do, for you to do, and you've seen that that's what you need to do, and you want to do it, and that's fabulous. And your wife should see that it's the best thing to do too, but she does not want to. And so you would X out this, and you would put your marriage ahead of the baby steps, and you converse. You communicate about it, and you don't wait 3 months before you bring it up, dummy. You bring it up the first month. If she tells you she's going to give you money to pay off debt, you ask about it the first month. Why did you wait 3 months? That was stupid. Because waiting just compounds the problem and kicks the can down the road, and now it's worse. So that was pretty dumb on your fault, on your part, and so you have to accept your portion of the blame here. But you communicate and you compromise, which you thought you did, but apparently you didn't, because she let something come up. And so then again, that's going to be a counseling issue. So, I mean, theoretically, from what you talked about originally, it sounds to me like you communicated and she said the word she wants to get out of debt. And then she said she's going to give you that much. But when it came down to it, she doesn't want to sacrifice to get out of debt. Sounds like to me. And so should investigate that with a counselor further, because there could even be more deeper issues than that. If they have a joint account, Hubby needs to spend it before she does on debt, right? And since she is having to give it to him, I'm thinking they have separate finances, and so that's not what Dave recommends either. Over a complex being, 18% APR. Bought an SUV about 4 to 5 months ago for around $13,000. Why? Did you have one child? I realize now that I didn't even need an SUV for what I thought I needed it for. Yep. Goal was to get this car paid off ASAP until I realized I actually owed over $18,000 with interest, which I was not aware of at the time of purchasing the car. Hey, guess what? When you get loans, it has interest on it. The bank and other lenders are not your friend. They're not trying to help you out by loaning you that money. They are hoping you make minimum payments forever, so they get the most money off of you. So they transfer wealth from you to their company, and then they get commissions for that. Quit being dumb. Let's see, where was I? Not aware of interest at the time. I didn't know how life worked. It's my third car purchase and I'm 22. How did you buy the other cars and not know about interest? The vehicle has 132,000 miles on it. I have no idea what to do. My monthly payment is $320, and I can probably stretch to double that payment per month on a very tight budget. I can't refinance the car with lower interest with anyone because I owe far more than what the car is worth. Any ideas? You owe $5,000 difference. You are allowed to get a $5,000 loan in order to sell that for $13,000. Or no, well, it depends on what it's worth now. So let's say it's still worth the $13,000. and you owe 18,000 on it because of stupid interest that you signed up for. So that's stupid tax is what we call that. So if you can sell it for around 13,000 and get a loan for $5,000 or $6,000, Dave is fine with you doing that, replacing a higher amount loan with a lower amount loan, because that is equal to paying off some of your debt. And so that is allowed. So do that if you can. If not, you will have to hunker down and pay it off. Double payment for on a very tight budget. I mean, you're 22. You just spend your life working until that car's paid off. But any ideas? Yeah. So everybody thinks that too. They think, oh, well, it's not worth what I owe, so I'm stuck with it. No, you can. I mean, you're taking the loss for sure. That $5,000 is gone. Because even if you sell the car, you still owe that $5,000 of interest. You see, this is why they will loan you the money, because they make money off of you. Because you're dumb, because you don't look into it. You don't think about how life works. You don't get all the answers before you go ahead and do it. And this might be a special thing for you, because you didn't even need one for what you thought you needed for, so you don't even need it. So you weren't sure about that either. So be sure about stuff before you sign your name. Otherwise, you're being dumb. Don't be dumb. My monthly payment. Oh, we already read that. Okay, so any ideas? Yeah, you can get a loan to pay the difference for what you can actually sell it for. Private sale, do not sell it to the dealer, because they will take their bite on it, and that will cost you even more stupid tax. You sell it private sale to somebody, and you take a loan for the difference, and that pays off that loan, and then you get the title, and then you can sign it over to them. So 18%. That said 18% on something that you signed as well. So don't be stupid. Right. And this is why this person is not anywhere near somebody that would read everything on there and see the 18% and say, oh, I'm not doing this. And so this is the problem with participation trophy kids. Because they get everything handed to them. And then they go out and do dumb crap like this. Dumb, 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 dumb. I've done my fair share of dumb, and that's why I don't mind calling other people dumb, because I've been that way myself. Boom, boom, boom. Person needs to just pay it off ASAP if it's Toyota, Honda. Yeah, we don't know any of the details. Can last another 200,000 miles. It's true. People really don't do any research before making large purchases, sadly. That's right, they don't. They just say, oh, I might need an SUV. Doesn't even know for sure. Just go ahead and buy it. Doesn't matter what the percentage is. The annual percentage rate on it. Doesn't matter what interest. And now you know. Now he knows, though. That's a hard way to learn the lesson, other than, what would be easier way to learn the lesson is to see 18% on the paperwork and go, oh, yeah, that's crazy. I'm not doing that. Catholic car sales. All right, interesting. You get a Hail Mary with that, with every car sold, free Hail Mary. Invest all my. Is it called? No, Hail Mary's the pass. What's that called? When you crush yourself, what is that called? That's called something different, I think. I apologize. I'm not. I have utmost respect for it. I'm not being disrespectful. I was just making a dumb joke. Invest all my 15% for retirement and 401k match. That's fine. Partial match 40% of what I contribute on my 401k. I can turn my 401k into a Roth as well. Yeah, do the Roth 401k. That allows you to put more money into it and get the tax-free growth on more money than a Roth IRA. Roth IRA is $7,000 a year for people under 50 years old. And you can do it's 24,000, I think, something like that, in a Roth 401k. So definitely do that. Now, the match part will go into your existing regular 401k, because by law they cannot put the match portion into the Roth 401k. So, you know, government do want their money. So on the 401k money, you're going to be paying taxes on the gains that you get out of it. But in the Roth, you won't, because you're paying taxes on the contributions going into it. I know match at 100% beats all else, correct? But does a partial match change that rule at all? Kind of, but in your case, since you can do the Roth 401k, you only have to do it there as long as you can get all 15% as part of that Roth 401k contribution. So like if people didn't have a Roth 401k option at work, which all of them don't, then you would do the minimum for a match at your work. And I'm assuming if it's 40% of what you contribute, I bet there's a cap on that up to a certain amount. And so you would find out what that amount is and do that. And then you would go over to the Roth IRA and max that out. And then if you still weren't done with your 15% for the year, then you go back to the traditional 401k. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, who matches up to 15%? Yeah, good point. That's why I think it's because they match 40% of the contribution, but it's got to be up to a certain level. It's got to stop somewhere. So at even like 40% of 15, that's still, what is that? It's still 6 or so percent, something like that. Do the math on that, Trey. 5 point something percent maybe. If I'm thinking mathematically correct about that. Salty Mortgage, well, Trey does the math on that, 9738. Short job loss, 4 months in. I was terminated from my position in human resources 4 months ago. Since then, I've been lazy and haven't gotten any job. Oh, no, that's not what he typed. He typed in, I've applied for job after job after job and have had 2 interviews. You can't just apply for jobs at home on your computer and expect that to do it for you. Go see people in person. One never contacted me after the interview, and the other decided to go with an internal employee who expressed interest in the position I was interviewed for. Great, yeah, that's how it happens. Hey, look, it's people that are already talking to those people get the job. Imagine that. I'm receiving unemployment and Medicaid as I have specific specialty medications I'm required to take for life. Transplant recipient. Okay, updated my resume and still nothing. I've been able to manage my bills for 4 months due to smart saving, but it's finally started to catch up with me. Sure, I rent and you got to go to work, and I'm in a lease that I cannot afford to break. So moving's not an option for me at this time. I currently have $20K in saving. Hey, go to work at Taco Bell while you look for a job that you don't think is beneath you. Get your lazy butt to work, transplant recipient person. Get your lazy butt to work. 4 months is too long. I would stay unemployed maybe a month at most before I started doing something to bring some money in. That is dumb. And that's your participation trophy all over again. Want stuff to be handed to you. You cannot get a job normally. I know some people have done it. I've even done it before where you just send in a couple resumes from your home computer and then you get hired off of that. But you can't expect that to work. Get your butt into offices and stuff like that and talk to people in person and go to work at freaking Taco Bell while you continue to look for a job that you think that is good enough for you to take. So I don't have any sympathy. Don't have any sympathy. 4 months you've been sitting around not doing crap. Dumb, 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 dumb. Learning to fly. 29. 80K paid off. I'm debt free. 6 years ago, I was in a terrifying spot. I was married and there were 4 kids in our household. We had some smaller normie debts. Normie. I mean, big debts are normie these days, unfortunately. That seemed manageable at the time. Oh, let's see. I think they're misunderstanding in the match. Most will do 100% for the first 3 to 5, and then 50% for 2 or 3 after that. I have seen it where they immediately say 40% of the first X percent that you contribute, or up to a certain dollar, like 40% of the first X number of dollars that you put in. Some places have worded it like that. I have seen that. So, but what they said is 40%. So you could go by the 40% of 15%. So you could see what that is. And so, like I said, that's going to be around 6 or so. So that's like a 6% match if you put in the whole 15 there. And if they go up to the whole 15, which maybe they don't do that. So, yeah. Trey says, key to getting a job now is either have a referral where you're trying to work or do what it takes to get an in-person interaction, even like a job fair. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. And you know what doesn't get you a job is sitting on your butt for 4 months playing video games or, watching Stranger Things or something like that over and over. That doesn't get you a job. And sending out 2 resumes a day on your computer. 6 years ago, 80K paid off, debt free. 6 years ago, I was in a terrifying spot, married, and there were 4 kids in our household. We had some smaller normie debt. Seemed manageable at the time, about 10K in student loans and about 15K in car loans. What seems like manageable payments can be an illusion. Because suddenly my healthy stepson got meningitis and needed 5 brain surgeries. Yikes. Husband at the time had stopped working for about 6 months because they had to do the surgeries in a different state. The medical bills were pouring in. Suddenly down to 1 income, and those modest debt payments felt so crushing. Sure. That's when I decided to take control of the finances. At first, we were projected to pay off our debt in about 2 years. However, fortunately, baby step 3 flare now, so there is good news at the end of the rainbow. About 2 years. However, along the way, a lot more things happened that set us back. I also got skin cancer, and my husband got laid off at his job. Combined, we have always made under 100K too, and we were raising 4 kids. About a year ago, we ended up going through a divorce and split up the remaining debt. It did take a lot longer than I had anticipated, but today is the day I get to scream. Great, I am debt free. 80K is gone. I am no longer a prisoner of debt. That is fabulous, and that was worth opening up the rest of it to see a happy ending there. That is awesome, and doesn't say that they're. I mean, she got the skin cancer, so that's not great, but, doesn't say anything else happened with the children, and so that's fabulous. All right. Alrighty. So, again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, and if you want more financial content from me, youtube.com/coachstevemoney, answering your financial questions stream, which is this one, Saturdays and Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Ramsey Show after show, and that is Tuesdays and Thursdays through September at 5:25 Eastern Time. And the other days on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, when the Ramsey Show video ends early on YouTube, I will put up some kind of stream with just an image or with me doing something, playing a video game or something, just so people can chat in if they choose to. And the music folder, the playlist rather, that has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Do listen to those if you are so inclined. And if you think you can sing them better than me, absolutely get in touch with me and I'll point you to the karaoke version that I use, or you can pick your own karaoke version of the song and sing it and record it and send it to me. And if it is indeed better than me, and most of them will be, I'm sure, we'll be glad to play that on the Ramsey Show After Show. How about that? Alrighty. Key to getting, oh, we already said that. Job fair. Alrighty. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching live. And if you're watching it later, thank you so very much. Right? Again, Ramsey Solution Certified Financial Coach. And for free consultation, you can go to calendly.com/coachstevemoney and schedule that. The email about coaching or anything else, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Anything else on my YouTube channel, anything that's on your mind at all. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney or Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. And the upcoming streams, as I said, answering your financial questions. And that is Saturdays and Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That is only answering questions. I do a bunch of more type of things, plus ask questions on the Ramsey Show After Show. And that through September, it is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5:25 Eastern Time. And the Ramsey Show Chat Refugee streams. That is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at that same time, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, when the Ramsey Show video ends and the last hour of that day's program goes to exclusively the Ramsey Network app. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and always make excellent financial decisions every day.